There are so many conflicting views as to how we should try and fix British agriculture. I hear all the time on social media and on YouTube that farmers should be protesting. We should block the ports or boycott the supermarket depots. That we should be holding the country to ransom or marching on Westminster demanding change. And whilst all of those options have their own merits, the biggest problem I have with all of them is that they're just too short term. As we've seen in the continent, the protests are here one day and they're just gone the next. How realistic is it for farmers to just stop production? And judging from previous experience, what major changes does lobbying government actually have? If we, as an industry, are really going to solve our problems, then I believe that we need to be thinking much more long term. I believe we need to be looking internally and shoulder the responsibilities ourselves to fix these problems rather than looking to others for the solution. And I think I might just have a plan. It won't be easy, it won't be quick, and it will take a huge amount of resource, but I think it will give us the best chance at prosperity over the long term. When you look at farming as a business, there's a fairly obvious gap. Farmers are exceptional. I'd go as far as to saying world class at the production and the operations side of the business. We are amazing at extracting value, be it out an acre of land or a particular animal, and getting it to where it's needed in record time. On the sales side, we've never really needed to do sales because there's always been a demand for the product. Every human needs to eat, so the demand is always there. But it is the marketing and particularly the branding side of things that, as an industry, we have let ourselves down catastrophically. Now, we can go around the houses and discuss how we got ourselves into this position, but the reality is we are now in a commodity game where price is king and we are at the entire mercy of others. So if British farming is going to prosper, then we need to move away from being a commodity into something of value. We need a brand, and it is this that I think has the ability to pull us out the mess that we're currently in. Ask yourself why you buy certain products, and because this is a farming video, let's use a few farming examples. Why do you buy Fendt over John Deere, or vice versa? Why do you buy Krone over Claas? Or Fairfax and Favour over Les Chameaux or Rydale boots? I mean, 400 quid for a pair of boots. It is insane, but they are incredibly popular. And people always try and justify their decisions or their actions through logic. They're the best quality, they are the cheapest, they perform the best, it tastes the best, etc, etc. But so much of the decision-making process is based on emotion, not logic. As humans, we make decisions using emotion and then try and justify with logic. And that's absolutely fine. We all do it. At the end of the day, we're all human. But what can we learn from this? And more importantly, what can British farming take from this? Brand is everywhere, and when done correctly, it can be incredibly powerful. It can make you choose one product or company over another. It can make you feel something, and most importantly, it can make you pay more for one product over the other. And this is where I believe that British farming needs to level up. We need to build a brand around British farming that consumers can get behind, that they can support, and that they are willing to pay more for. Now, I can hear a lot of you sitting on the other side of this screen watching this video saying, you can't do it. It'll never work. It can't be done. And you're entitled to your opinions, but quite frankly, as I see it, I don't think we've got a choice. We have to do it, or at least try. And I, for one, think it can be done. We've seen it in other industries and where companies have managed to captivate the public through brand with tremendous success. There are, of course, plenty of examples that I could draw on, but please contribute yours in the comment section below. And there's two that I want to mention in this video. The first one, and probably no surprise to anybody, is Liquid Death. This is 100% pure brand strategy at play. End of. It's canned water, the most commoditized product on the entire planet. And yet by building a brand around the product, they've created a company with a valuation of over $700 million that just sells water. You might think that that is insane, but that is the power of brand. Why can't we do something like this for British milk? On a side note though, why has nobody decided to sell milk in a can? There's an idea for you. Some of you out there might think, well, that's fine, they're a private company, they have more control over these things, it's easier for them to do. But let's take a look at something like New Zealand wine or Italian pasta. Now, can you name me a New Zealand wine producer without Googling it? I know I can't, but I can tell you something about New Zealand wine. Why? Because they've created a particular image or brand around the product and category that generates a particular meaning, a certain lifestyle that people want to buy into. And this is the direction of travel that I believe British farming needs to be heading. We need to become better at promoting ourselves, at shouting about the positive impacts that we're making, and at communicating our side of the story. But beyond that, we need to be creating a brand that resonates with the consumer, that makes them feel something, that makes them sit up and take notice. I'm not going to pretend that this is going to be easy. Yes, it will take a long time. Yes, it will take a huge amount of resource, and yes, it will cost a lot of money. But I believe that this is the best option for creating long-term prosperity in the industry. Fighting the politicians or staging more protests risk us alienating the public and will only give us more of the same. We need to look internally to solve our problems, and we ourselves need to shoulder that responsibility to actually make it happen. And if nobody else is going to take up the challenge, then I will.